All right, everybody. Sorry, I had to answer my lady. She comes first. Maybe I don't know about that. Whoops. Nah, I didn't say that. But yeah, so Juno and I are here now. Kenny, unfortunately, uh, is not here tonight because he is in the hospital again, and so yeah, I'm kind of worried about him because he said they found three more wounds on his leg, and he said he had an MRI and a few things, and he said he would let me know, like what was going on. So I have a feeling I haven't heard from him in a few hours, so I have a feeling he's probably staying the night, unfortunately. So yeah.
My prayers for him.
Yeah. So just wanted to also thank you guys, for this month of, hanging out and everything, and enjoying the festivities and such as it as it were. And then last night's debacle as it goes, and stuff. So yeah, there we go. Um, Johnny did make a video of the song last night. I have to kind of convince him to give me the full version of it. He edited some things out and stuff, but I mean, nothing major. He was just doing some tweaks with it and whatnot. Made a couple of things,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. But as it goes, we'll go through, roll call with Chester Franklin, the man, as always,
Chester.
and then Rosalia and
Oh,
71 is in the house, and
7-1.
Brooke Sauce is in the house. Oh yeah, and then Ashton is here in the house, and of course, my one and only Moonbeam is here in the house, and Johnny is in the
Hello,
house.
Wendy. Good.
Tweaks and quirks, yeah. So there we go. Hey, Mercy. Mercy's here from Gizmo Media because
Hey,
she
Mercy.
gets Mo Media by going to the potato fields with an excavator and excavating potatoes, all for herself and her little man that's in the house. Because I don't put kids' names out on my channel. I mean, I'll talk. So everybody knows that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm in something about liquor. No, no, I have this thing, that heart covering up uh, at the bottom. I can't stand that. Hey, Kenny, we're sorry. Won't you come on home? There you go.
Órale, órale, ese. Good seeing Holmes. But yeah, we loud prayer for Kenny, everybody.
Absolutely. Well, I guess I'm gonna, go with this because it was something that I didn't really want to say, but I have you banned, Greg, and I want you to get the fuck out of here. And I don't want you to come back. So get the hell out. Hey, Anthony.
What's up, Anthony?
Yep. Happy early birthday in case I miss your birthday next week. You're welcome, Anthony. So is he gone because I can't fucking see him?
Don't know. I didn't see him. I can't do shit on here.
Sorry, but he pulled that card when Dad Sean pulled his bullshit, and he sided with him. It's not like he had to side with us, but he
Yeah.
acted like a jackass to me, and I don't appreciate it. So because he's also chummy with who, so I'm not gonna put up with it. I mean, at least Anthony's cool and he's kind and shit, but I'm not gonna take the disrespect, and stuff. Yeah, it would be nice
Yeah.
if Clint Howard got him.
Yeah, Chester, you have the authority. Have
You can
ever
do
seen that
whatever
fucker?
Chester. You can do whatever the hell you want. You know that.
Yep. You have the badge, you have everything. You do a good job with the tickets.
I mean, any of you guys can, so. Hey, Charles, good to see you. Appreciate it. Sorry to get this thing off to a bad start, but I don't I don't disrespect people in their chats, and I'm not going to have somebody disrespect me.
Like some idiot yesterday fucked it up.
We got a watch party of Messiah of Evil on Friday night, Charles. So if you and Mercy, you're cordially invited to attend. So appreciate you, Charles. Hey, Dirk. Oh, just you know, just things that I'll have to talk to you on Messenger about, and stuff. Just I had, some remaining time for the month on Stream Yuck, and so decided to just do a stream and fuck around and all that. So right, it's the timing. But yeah, just man, what a fucking past couple of days, But yeah, today was pretty. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. I'm floored, today by Tim Curry, but I knew it was gonna probably be sooner or later. I was telling Juno that about 4 years ago, some friends of mine, they went to one of the horror cons in LA, just to meet him, and I house at their house the weekend that they were gone. But this is one of the greatest films ever made. They have the 3D going on there.
Yeah. If everybody see the original, the hell with the remake. Watch Tim Curry's classic.
We might be, Johnny. It just depends, Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. Yeah, I sang a little bit tonight, So yeah, Hayden last week, and then it was Screaming Mad George also, which man.
Dolly.
Frank Beard, I'm just already surprised. Like Frank Beard hadn't been gone like 2 fucking days, and Billy was out there, with the two. Well, not the bass player, but the new drummer. Already doing shows. I mean, it was like, what the fuck,
I even heard that. I'm not sure if we recognize his actor, but that Michael Wright actor, he passed away too.
I think I saw that. And then there was some lady who was a lyricist in for Motown in the early days. She had written a bunch of songs. I hadn't heard of her, but yeah, she had passed on. She was like in her late 70s or something, Yeah, I know, Charles. I don't know what to think about it. I would have just kind of maybe given it like a month, or something. But they're Texans, so we do things off the cuff, all the time. So yeah, But thank you, Chester. Also, I want to thank you for doing that. Yeah, he did. He hit the kill switch. That's correct. Next, Jeff, Ron Jeremy. Yeah, it could be Charles. Ron Jeremy. One of the funniest things about him was that he went to a PWG Pro Wrestling Gorilla show, and he fell asleep, and they had him on camera like asleep in the audience. I thought that's genius, you know.
Jesus Christ, Bruce Willis. Oh my God, I guess he's gonna be probably soon because his dementia's kind of getting bad.
The what?
Bruce Willis, because he has dementia really bad,
Yeah.
he's probably gonna be gone soon. So that's really fucking him up.
Hey, P.
What's up, P?
I'm gonna try to, show this video that Johnny made because uh he see if it works. Oh shit. I opened this fucking thing from him. I didn't see this one, but okay, so here we have Clint Howard. Okay, and then who the fuck is that?
Jenner Hansen.
Lord, but I want to see if this works here. Let's see.
Hijo de la chingada, Johnny. That was fucking brilliant.
He like I sent him, like one of the thumbnails that I had made, and he was like, "Well, shit, you do this better than me." And I go, no, I go, you come up with some great fucking ideas.
What's up,
So this is from last night. I'm gonna try to, you know. Oh man.
Damn it, Johnny. That was great.
No, it's not going to get a copyright strike, like I said, because I'm singing over it, really, and you hear the music on the thing. Sorry, like I said, when the lady asks me questions, I have to answer.
Yeah, the movie I saw earlier today was interesting of how bad it was, but it was like an interesting movie. Was Maniac Cop 3.
That is a good one. I mean, it's got Jackie Earl Haley in it, and
Yeah,
um,
he's the best part of the movie.
oh, what's his name?
I
Um,
just wish Jack Earl Haley was more in the movie.
but it's got God, I can't think of his name now. From Tales from the Hood, um, Clarence Williams the third. He's in
Hmm.
that, and oh man,
The best stuff is with Jack Earl Haley. I just wish he was in more scenes of the movie.
he's in. I just saw a trailer for something that he's gonna be in, and I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
there. If he's in it, I'll
but
be watching it.
I was watching Maniac Cop 3 earlier, and so strange how this movie was considered a piece of shit because of the trouble production, the producers screwing it up, Bill Lustig being upset of the final product, so he said, "Fuck this movie."
Right.
I don't know what was messy about it. Maybe it's the finale or was it the story, but it, you barely get Maniac come more in the most of the movie. That's probably the issue with it. Like he's in there, then he's gone, then he's there,
Right.
and you barely even see his fucking face. And
Well,
this one doesn't even show his face.
it's kind of like, you know, weird to put it this way, but it's kind of like Basket Case 3. It's not, you know,
That's over the top as fuck.
it's just, both of those movies suffer from the same kind of syndrome, I think, where it's
Yeah.
like, but, I just wanted to tell everybody that we have Rob's vintage video in here, which, as per Don from, Night Owl Talk, if he was here, but Rob and Don both make it Christmas when they show up. So there we go. And it's
What's up,
Christmas in
Rob?
the end of August. So,
Orlando SA, what's up?
but,
Good to see you, Rob.
I mean, I like both of them. I mean, I have them in my collection, so I'm not.
Yeah,
uh,
it just I was fascinated by the movie because I kind of wish someone would do a documentary with Bill Lustig of how he fucking hated this movie. Like I wanted a documentary about it because it's kind of interesting how trouble production this movie really was.
there's so many movies that suffer from a lot
Yeah,
of things. It's like,
'cause-
when, last Friday when we watched Split Second, I told you that one guy's acting I thought sucked, and then it seemed like
mhm,
if they had a bigger budget, they could have done more. It seemed like it was one of those
yeah,
that would have, that suffered a lot from not having enough
yeah.
money, or a
Personally,
decent script.
hell, I would have liked to see Peel Postlethwaite as his buddy cop friend. Like that's a better British actor than this dude. But when I did look at his credit for that dude's acting, he only did voice acting, but he did Girl Dragon Tattoo. That was it. I'm not sure if he's a bad actor or he's a good actor. Because if he was a good actor, he should have been in more bigger movies. If he improved better, but I guess not. But Maniac Cop 3 wasn't bad. I'll just say that it was a fucking interesting watch.
Oh yeah, I
It
mean
was
it was.
I think the highlight of the movie was the shoot, the scene. the scene where Jackie O'Haley's in the shootout in the hospital. I think that's a fucking insane scene that's really shot. Because I think it's really kick ass how Robert Davi, where he's hidden in the fucking gurney and then he shoots the guns through it. Like, that was so badass. And he has a big old shootout with Robert, was it Jackie O'Haley? Awesome scene. But he's also, his character's a coke addict because he likes the pills and everything in the beginning.
Well, the one thing is when that fucking nurse or pharmacist, whatever the fuck she was, because I hadn't seen it in a while.
It was his girlfriend.
Yeah, like what the fuck is going on in this? Like, okay.
Like, it even took the lady cop out of like shock, like, you busted him? And then she fucking shoots, like, what the hell?
See, so let me catch up a bit on the chat. Chester says death gaze is a disgusting ice cream. Yeah, it would be. And and
Planet ass hair.
Death gaze ice cream with or without nuts. It wouldn't make it better with or without. Yeah, 2 death gaze in 1 cup. Yeah. And hey, P. Rick. I probably said hello to you before, but say it again.
Probably Planet asshole. Probably sucks into the cup too.
I tell you though, I don't think you've ever seen this movie, Juno. It's with Kate Winslet's in it, Jackie Earl Haley's in it, and what I think.
Oh, I've heard about that one.
Patrick Wilson,
where he's like a pedo. Where he's like in a pool or something, and they get all fucking freaked out.
Little children, and it's like he gets out of prison or whatever, and so he's just trying to live his life, and shit, and he goes into this pool, and everybody, when he's walking there, everybody's staring at him, and then he gets in, and then everybody just gets out, like he had fucking leprosy or something. And I mean, I don't condone the behaviors, but it's really just a movie, So I'm not really it's like, oh, he's, this guy's fucked up, He's no Jeffrey Jones, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, fuck Jeffrey Jones, or not Victor, or even Victor Salva.
Right, exactly. So, but I mean, I'm trying not to like spoil it, but it has a really like fucked up tragic end to it. You're just like,
yeah,
shit, But I mean,
I have seen that movie.
Oh, okay.
And I did see what happens at the end, which I won't spoil for anybody. You guys should check it out.
But he got an Oscar nomination for that. So,
ooh,
yeah. The sequel to the
I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he wasn't terrible. But like, hell, like when I said that I saw Maniac Cop 3 yesterday, I think he was the best part of the movie. I kind of wish the script could have been better, where you had him more in the movie. Maybe he was a dominant figure, kind of like, how Leo Rossi was in the second one, where he was where he was fucking creepy, kind of like that, but a little bit more extended, where he's part of the ending, like more extended. Like, I kind of wish they should have just had more with the script fixed like that, where he was more into the movie and more like a secondary bad guy, where he's fucking coke out of his mind, taking all the pills and going high, like with all the coke and stuff, and shoot out with Robert Davi. Like, just make it like, who gives a shit of the production shit? Just make it insane.
Oh, I know. All right, Johnny. Yeah, we're well, I would hope somebody would go check on him. I would, you need to bring him some hoagies as well. And hey, Sailor George,
Hey there, George.
It's me, Belowy, Chapter 3. He's not really going, Russell. Jesus Christ. He doesn't live near him. The Requalizer, yes, just like I said, the
Yeah,
Tweaqualizer last night. Brooke
but
is the
yeah, it was a good
master of it
watch.
all. He blames her. The what?
But that I would say that movie that you mentioned earlier, little was it little monsters or little people?
Little children.
That one, it was a good, really powerful movie.
It is, And the thing was, I only really watched it because Kate Winslet was in it. I didn't know that. I didn't,
Haley.
really what it was about. I just heard
Mhm.
good things about it. And I watched it, and I'm just like, like what the fuck, But I mean, it's the same type of movie. Well, some of it, like Happiness, and stuff like that. And I think Happiness is a fucking great film.
Mhm.
I don't view it, because of the subject matter. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of the subject matter in it is repulsive, but it's done in such a way that, you keep your eyes on it and you're just like, wow.
Mhm.
Plus the fact that Philip Seymour Hoffman, is, making obscene phone calls to Lara Flynn Boyle, and she's getting off on it, stuff like that. So,
But yeah, it's not that Jack Door Haley movie wasn't that bad. No, it was powerful. Recommend it if anybody wants to see it. But yeah, Maniac Cop 3 was interesting. Kind of like my pick of a Return to Sleepaway Camp. You know how you said you liked that one? I would give it to Maniac Cop 3. I did not. I know the piece of shit that everybody said it, but I had fun with it. Of how fucking ridiculous it is. I enjoyed Maniac Cop 3. Still better than the Death Wish remake. Now that's a remake. That's a pile of shit. It's just boring as hell.
but man, they went off the rails real early, but,
What?
you know,
Oh, oh shit.
Maniac Cop and a half. There you go. Yeah, and I appreciate it, Dirk. I mean, that's why I support you and Darren. I try to always be there, you know, because we're negative renegades. Womp, womp, womp. um, Sorry, I
2.5 gay men.
have to answer the lady again. I'm whipped. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
2.5 gay men starring Def Gay and CHAE Powder. Planet Asshole Powder.
Charles and Mercy are probably going, what the fuck is going on here? We have so many inside jokes with each other, and stuff. Oh man, you could take Buddy Holly and his rendition of Curly Sue, Surprisingly, Chester, I never did see that, so I'm due for that,
I did see it. Not bad.
Yeah, Ashton Dirk is not a fan of Planet Suck 'em Off, Or I'm sorry, Planet Sucks himself off. Woo! See, and I can get away with saying all that shit, and I'm not even drunk.
Humongous of humanoid ass. Yeah, planet of humongous humanoid of shit. And there, that horse and shit that we were talking, the asshole, Planet Asshole, he is the most boring son of a bitch out there.
Yes, he is.
Same with Death Gay.
Him and his fucking dog haircuts. Oh, I got to be careful talking about hair, because somebody might fucking magically appear,
Clue, movie like Clue, that's a great one.
Oh yeah, Clue
It's
is
a classic.
fucking great.
Tim Curry, he's a national treasure, dude. Like, any movie that he was in, he always saved the movie. Even if the movie was a piece of shit or a fucking bad movie, he would save the movie.
Yes.
Because you would always count on him saving a shitty movie.
Times Square, baby. There he is in the corner.
There he is. Times Square.
There he is. This is a fucking great movie, by the way. You want to see the 40 Deuce in all its glory, this is one of those movies to watch. Just like New York Ripper and Nighthawk and all those great fucking movies that had the 40 Deuce in it.
I do agree with Moonbeam. He was versatile, yes, because Tim Curry was always a national treasure about like he was a national treasure of an actor. He always fucking nailed it. Hell, he was even fucking funny in Scary Movie too. Like, I wish he had more scenes in that movie because he was fucking having the ball. Like, hell, there was even more funny scenes that he had that got cut out in the deleted scenes where he got all perverted.
I didn't even know that, Ashton. That is fucked up. But it doesn't surprise me because I popped into one of his streams one night and he was talking shit about Led Zeppelin. It's like, oh, they suck. But his reasoning behind it was that you know that Jimmy Page had you know and I say allegedly because I'm not going to say that it was yes or no, but he had dalliances with young girls, but I know that he and Plant didn't have like there weren't girls that were trafficked to them or anything like that were really fucking young or anything like that. And what the fuck does that have to do with their lyrics? I mean, so then of course he comes up with Blue Oyster Cult is a better band than Led Zeppelin. No. And he says that Alice Cooper is better than Led Zeppelin. Alice Cooper has great songs, but he's nothing to what he was in the 70s. And I don't give a shit if anybody wants to argue because I'll stand on that fucking hill and die on it. So, she's not your love, Russell. Shut the fuck up. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Goddamn. Sit down. Yeah.
I said F-1309 was the best F-13 movie, and he acted like I ran over his dog.
Well, he looks like a dog with his dog style haircuts.
No, he's full of.
He's rough,
He's full
and I mean,
of cockacidal,
like,
horse shit. He's a cockacidal of human horse shit. Which pretty much determines what he is. He's planet cockacidal of humanoid horse shit and horse's ass. Personally, I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. He's the most boring son of a bitch out there. And he looks like he's the most boring fucking person to meet. Like how he's meeting fucking Pizzow and he looks boring in those pictures. Like hell, Pizzow looks more excited in the event than Planet Ass Clown there. That dude's a bitter bitcoin. And I don't know why there are some other people that are just kissing his ass, like thinking he's a great person. No, he's a jackass.
Well, there's a lot of people like that, unfortunately, And I mean, and I'll always say that this is that, I met a lot of you, well, through, and then of course, then from P. Riches, from him, and I, you're all like incredible, and we all get along. And if there's something wrong, I mean, usually somebody will say, "Hey, blah blah, this or that," but nobody lately has said anything to me about if I've pissed them off in any way because that's never like my intention with all of you. I mean, I fuck with Russell, yeah, because it's just what I do, but I just get I'm tired of like some of these people that act like they know more than everybody else, and that other people's opinions don't matter. I mean, I will admit, if I'm wrong about something, maybe I don't want to, but I will, But I mean, Juno and I, we argue like brothers about stuff, because he'll jump the gun on something. And I'm like, don't do that, It's like, or whatever,
And we go potty mouth on movies and everything, and especially Planet Humanoid of horse shit. I just
Planet
call that
Jizz.
asshole anything. Jeez, because I can't stand him. I don't know why they keep kissing his ass because of course there's a thing where they kiss the other dude's ass and the other ass clown like Death Gay and Cockadoodle one, and then his friend MC and the other stuck man ass. To be honest, I don't care about stuck man. I think he's a jackass. I think he's a tool.
Well, Derek, I have to agree with you about, Sabbath as well. But yeah, I don't know. I never, I tried watching that dude and I never got his appeal. And then it's funny when you go to you see pictures of him going to conventions and meeting up with these different people, and he has like a sad face, like, oh, I'm in hell, I guess, or something like that. It's like, wow, no reasons to be cheerful, you fucking fuck, because you probably paid a ton of money to come to this convention and you're just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's looking like a snappy ass clown with a sad face. I'm pretty sure that piece of shit. I'm not sure if they're ever gonna do something else with Hellraiser.
Always remember, if it ain't stiff, it ain't worth a fuck.
Well, Peter, I guess he probably did finger himself up. And,
Just
because he's
finger
a
banged
horse's
his
ass.
cat. What the? You're exactly right, Dirk. Well, Dirk's always right, so that always, just kidding. Well, no,
Oh, Dirk. Oh, Dirk,
no,
you
but
and
Dirk
Darren
tells
are
it like
more
it
in.
is. Dirk doesn't
Yeah,
like censorship, where there's a lot of people that do like to censor people. I don't censor anybody. I just don't
tell
like
Dirk.
faker fucks in my room, as was proven
Yeah,
tonight. And thank you again, Chester, for getting that piece of garbage out of here.
gracias, Chester. How Derek and Darren are more entertaining and fun than at Ass Clown and Death Gay. Fuck Death Gay. A piece of shit too.
Talking about someone that likes to prey upon girls, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rob, I don't get it either.
They probably kiss each other's ass. Probably kiss MC's ass and went Doc number two, one's ass, and Duder's ass. They probably just take turns.
Don't even. I I had to make amends with myself about MC though, Juno. So don't be disappointed in me.
It's okay. I still
Well,
think the other
I
two
figured.
ass. I think the other ass clowns are worse that are associated
Well,
with him.
I had to kind of figure it to the effect that, I mean, I was pissed off at him at the time, and I thought, man, that's a real judgmental fucking thing to do. But, he went, or maybe he didn't, but there was a thing that Severin had this past weekend that they have once a year where they show movies and then they talk about new titles coming out and stuff. So he was reporting about the new titles, and one of them that's coming out is Cherry Harry and Raquel, the Russ Meyer film. And I'd heard through the grapevine that there's maybe about 4 other titles coming out as well. So I was real happy to see that and stuff. And I had said, I commented on the thing when he posted that. I said, well, there's sort of rumblings of this one and that one. And he said, well, this is the only one that they talked about. And he said, but it's possible. And I just said, well, thanks, and stuff like that. So it's kind of a stupid thing to be pissed at somebody about for several years.
Mhm.
But still, as our editor said, though, anybody that doesn't like Ray Dennis Steckler is an asshole. So, so that will stay true to me. And everybody here that I know enjoyed the films by him that I showed. So,
They're better than Duder's ass clown movies. They're just horse shit. So he kiss our asses.
yoga posers, yes. Yogurt posers, too. See, Russell, you need to check, your spellings and things like that, because you mentioned Paradise Garage and then you go and you said, and I do the Rick. It's I do the Rock. It's not about Rick and Morty. So, he didn't sing a song about Rick. Jesus. Could you imagine? I do the Rick.
I've been watching these movies. The one movie I kind of wanted to check out, I have never seen, is the Henry Portrait of Serial Killer, the sequel, they did make
Oh,
a sequel and
that's garbage.
oh, it's garbage?
Yeah,
It's
I
horse.
didn't like it. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it.
It's a giant piece of shit. Okay. Well, I won't watch that piece of shit.
Yes, you're right, P. Rich. He looks like a sleaze. Yes, I did see, what Russell said, and he needs a leash. God damn it, it's pretty much,
And gotta say, Dark Side of the Ring finally concluded, so now they're done with this season.
Really, they're done already. I thought there was another one.
The Sad Gowan episode was actually the last episode.
Oh shit.
I think because usually like when they never do 2 parts or 3 parts. Usually those are like the 2 extra episodes. But I guess because fucking TNA got the 3 part episodes, that's why we didn't get no 2 extra special episodes or anything.
Thank you for fixing it, Russell, because I would be heartbroken the whole night if you hadn't fixed it.
Yeah, all of it's on Vice. I did see the Sad Gowan one, which actually ended the series.
I
It
liked
was
it. I
alright.
enjoyed it.
It was okay. I think it was a step down from like the other ones.
He had some great imitations of those people, though.
Yeah. The only thing I was disappointed is that they never got the wrong guy interviewed, which I was expecting them to interview that guy
Yeah, that would have
when
been
they
fun.
said that Laurinaitis fucked up being an idiot because he hired the wrong person. I wanted to see what happened to that dude. Like, how did that fucking like surprise him? Like, What he says calls Laurinaitis an asshole or what?
John Germanitis.
Yeah, fuck that piece of
Did
shit.
you know that he was Animal's brother?
Yep, he is
Yeah,
Animal's brother.
which that's kind of a sad thing.
The only thing is that the only difference is that Animal you could hear Animal speak clearly, but Laurinaitis she sounds like he has a sore throat with Alaska's ass and mucus. Feels like mucus is stuck in his throat. At least with Animal, you can hear what the fuck he's saying.
Oh, we anybody want some used flashlights? Well, there is somebody we know. Well, at least that I know, and 71 knows that she loves flashlights. Apparently,
What
you
did you
remember
think
that,
about
Rosie,
this?
when I was talking about flashlight ass, and Z says, "Who the hell's flashlight ass?" I said, "Oh, some bitch you don't need to know. You know, you'll never meet, or something like that. You know, and stuff." And 71 was like, "You shouldn't say. You know, she'll come in here or something." I go, "How the fuck is she gonna come in here? She doesn't even know this channel exists. You know." It'd be funny
Did
if she
you
did, because I would just go, "Keep screaming, bitch." But anyway,
did you like this season of Dark Side of the Ring?
yeah, I didn't have any real complaints about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that the whole Necro Butcher and Samoa Joe thing was overblown. You know, that's all.
I think that was the weakest one out of all of them because it was just about that one fucking match.
I watched a match with Necro Butcher today, and this guy named let's see, who's this fucker? Named Thumbtack Jack, and he looked like a bootleg version of CM Punk. And
Mm.
they called it a cabin fever match, whatever the fuck that meant, but nobody caught any sort of virus or, you know, or anything like that. And Eli Roth
Yeah.
wasn't involved. But I mean, there was a shit ton of light tubes used and stuff. And there actually was a spot where they had like this big old, like, you know, it looked like it was a huge wooden board with, like, you know, the light tubes on it and everything. And Necro power bombed him, you know, on top of it, but it was such a big board that, you know, it was a cutaway, so the guy fell through it like that, and I mean, he was bloody as fuck. I mean, but well, both of them were. I mean, it looked like they had been in a major automobile accident, you know, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my
Yeah.
god, it was fucking. I mean, oof. And but the thing was, the finish was a fucking schoolboy on Necro, and I was like, "What?" You know, it's like you literally kill each other, and then you know, a schoolboy. You know, like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chris, good to see you.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
Uh,
Besides that one,
Chris, I beg to differ. I mean, it's a good match, but it's not I've seen. I
hardcore.
mean, I think Angle, you know, the first Samoa Joe versus like Kurt Angle. Now that was a great fucking match, and it was brutal too. You know,
Besides
well, that's what I
that
mean.
episode being,
All those people that were, you know, interviewed in that thing, you know, it was just, I think, for their
yeah.
moment of glory. Because like Joe, you know, he's always so blasé. It's just like, oh, they want to talk about this. I don't even really remember it. I don't care, you know, kind of thing. You know, so it's just like, nah.
Besides that one, I was not really big on the W. I mean, the TNA one. Because to me, I wish that was just a Jeff Jarrett episode. Because that was more interesting than fucking TNA. Because all they did was just talked about how much of a bitch Dixie Carter was. Like,
Right.
who gives a fuck about her? I want to see a story. I want a Dark Side of the Ring on Jeff Jarrett. Like, his story's more interesting. Because they do that, but they kind of like just go surpass it real fast because they talk about this Dixie Carter bullshit. And of course, she's a conniving bitch too that she declined an interview.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you.
What's up, Jim? That is out of all the Elimination Chamber, Chris, that was actually really a great one to start. The first one because that was a historic pay per view. Survivor Series 2002 was great. And personally, I missed the Madison Square Garden entrance they used to have, where they would come out of the side. And I agree, Chester. Fuck Dixie Carter. Like, I didn't give a shit about that. I'm like, she's just an idiot. She doesn't know about fucking wrestling. It's just, I wish it was more of a Jeff Jarrett episode. Like that, like hell, that should have been a Dark Side of the Ring episode. Like how he started, how he dealt with his dad, how the fuck he had to deal with the clique and all this bullshit, how he had to deal with financing with Barrett Bischoff and the fight with McMahon over money from No Mercy with China, all that shit. And even include like how he has drug addictions too. Like that would have been a perfect Dark Side of the Ring episode. I know we had that asshole Vince Russo talking out of his ass, acting like a moron, and having a drinking game where he says bro all fucking 2,000 times.
Joe will be back, Rosie. I think he's just filming something, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's, you know, I haven't seen Wrestle Massacre. I've known about it, but there is one, or is that the one with? There's one that has Rey Mysterio Senior in it, but I
Oh,
don't
his
know.
uncle?
Yeah, something like that.
That's WrestleManiac.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
WrestleManiac.
But
That one.
yeah,
That's a pretty solid movie. Did you ever see that one?
I think so.
Yeah, because it came out the same year as See No Evil with Kane, which both movies are actually 20 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
John Michael is now a born again Christian. Yeah, because he calmed down his fucking sexy boy gimmick where he's like dancing with his ass out in front of China. I actually do think that was the funniest shit where China had a straight. She didn't even like broke character where he's like gyrating in front of her with his junk, and China's just standing there with her arms crossed together.
I always thought the whole thing with her and Eddie was great.
That was beautiful.
Eddie,
Those were two.
Eddie. Sounds like a fucking, old woman,
That was a couple that was two great couples right there that we lost too soon. Eddie and China. Did you ever like Tess?
He was all right. He wasn't, he reminds me of, or rather, Big Cass reminds me of him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the one thing I thought was cool about the Zach Gowen episode also was that Jimmy Jacobs was in it.
Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah.
So, because he also reveals in the episode that he's good friends with Zach Gowen even before he went to WWE and he trained together.
Yeah, well, Zach Gowen had a deal for a little bit in
TNA.
ROH with Jimmy Jacobs when they were doing this thing. I forget what they called themselves, but there was this really fucked up match where they had attacked Jay Briscoe and they hung him up by his legs in the arena, and it's kind of fucked up because it was so bloody. They kind of censored it, but like they, pulled him up and he was like sort of in a cross formation and just leaking blood all over the place.
Yeah. Like, I kind of wish they should have had talking about the infamous stare scene that he had with Brock Lesnar. That would have been interesting to see that one talked about. Where Brock Lesnar just fucks him up with his leg and then he ends up throwing him off the fucking stairs. Like, kind of wish that was a bit talked about because I kind of got skipped over.
Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch was fun stuff. But my comment was it doesn't surprise me was towards Russell.
Because I know sometimes, like, Jay Cornette can go over the top with it, where he doesn't like, he despises death matches and all that stuff. But I could see why, because they were trying to do that with Moxley. Because I remember, like, in the early days of AEW, Moxley was mentioning that, oh, I wanted to be a good wrestler, but he's just doing garbage wrestling where he's just throwing shit at each other. Until, like, later on, he started wrestling normally with none of the shit wrestling outside.
Yeah, Nick Gage is a fucked up dude. I mean, you
That
got to give him
episode.
props. He was dumb enough to rob a bank.
Dude, that was probably the fucking craziest episode they ever did on with Nick Gage. To me, I think that dude's more hardcore than Necro Butcher. Cause that's why I kind of like that episode more than the Necro Butcher Samoa Joe match episode. Cause I think Nick Gage was more interesting and he was more fucked up and crazy. Even when he's interviewed, you could tell he looks fucked up.
Yeah.
Probably snorted a crack or something and was ready to roll on camera.
Well, his poor girlfriend, she was like a train wreck,
Damn.
and I think she died. I think.
To be honest, at least Nick Cage looks better in health condition than fat ass Justin Credible, who fucks over people. At least he's not a fat fuck like him. Which fuck that Justin Credible dude. He's a scumbag. He stole fucking people's money. All that merchandise he pretty much screwed them over, stole their money, and he was making a bunch of bullshit excuses like, "Oh, I had to feed family. Oh, my family's starving. So what? You stole fucking people's money, you asshole. You never shipped out their stuff that they bought."
You're right.
And of
Well, you
course,
should
when
never trust wrestlers. You should buy merch directly from
luckily,
them at shows, and not. Well, actually, he'd be at conventions and ask people for gas money and shit.
yeah.
You
Did you
know,
ever see that video where the promoter got mad at him and told him to get the fuck out of here and cursed him out
no.
because he was supposed to wrestle or some shit?
One of the best things ever was I have this guy Damien Costell who is his ring name is Damian Wayne, and he's wrestled for like ROH. And on Facebook, he had made this, he made a post about something, and some fucking jabron is like, he goes, you know, why don't you, he goes, I bet I could beat your ass. Why don't you come down here? And right on the spot, he's like, well, if you pay my fucking airfare and get me a hotel for a night, I'll be glad to come down there and beat your fucking ass. And because, oh, I'm just kidding. I was just joking. I'm like, wow, you're a real winner, kid.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring, the scam and piece of shit of just incredible crimes. And then also Hannibal, the dipshit, a fake ass fucking piece of shit hardcore wrestler. Oh, I'm the blood butcher. Fuck your character, dipshit. Stick the butcher mask that you have up your ass, you fucking piece of shit. Personally, folks, fuck that Hannibal guy. Not only that he's a shitty wrestler, but he's also a fucking woman beater piece of shit. And fuck him for that.
I like the fact that Killer Cross, basically told the WWE to fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
That he's not in that mess that they have now.
Yeah, because they made him a fucking joke. Like hell, that was stupid Vince doing that dumb shit. Remember when he made him come out to like speedos and wearing a generic version of Humongous's mask? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And even Scarlett was not even with him. So I'm like, what the fuck was this crap? I miss Bray Wyatt to WWE has become Disney now. They will not touch horror anymore. Yeah,
Well, they
they
screwed
even
him around. That match he had with Orton, where they did all those goofy, things. I mean, he should have won that match. And I mean, a lot of those matches he should have won. I mean, it was so stupid. It just seemed like, oh, we
well,
have a gimmick here, but we're going to hold you down, or whatever.
yeah.
Or McMahon
The
could have had a fucking vendetta against his dad. Who
the,
the fuck knows?
the thing that's so bullshit is that not only that, but they were fucking over Luke Harper too. because he was supposed to be the third guy to fight Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, and folks said that that would have actually saved the fucking match if he was
Yeah.
in that match, and that would actually they were actually building that fucking shit because hell, they even had a botch battle royal where I actually saw the motherfucker live where they redid the video on YouTube and you could tell they fucking edit the shit out. But I saw on TV that AJ Styles' feet he touched the floor first because the camera was next to the damn feet where they were coming out that they were falling out. Clearly, AJ Styles' feet fell first before Harper fell down. But the stupid YouTube they did that spot and then they edited to a different back angle where it's the back where you don't see the feet. Bunch of horse shit to just pretty much fuck over Luke Harper and he's in the fucking pre-show battle royal. Like great, fuck you guys for screwing up Luke Harper. Like like hell, even the Viking Raiders were even pissed at Vince for doing that shit to Luke Harper. Because you could tell Luke Harper was ready to be pushed, especially when he had that match with Randy Orton at Elimination Chamber. That was a fucking classic. Like Randy Orton was putting him over how good he was. Like you could tell there was a fucking story right there. Goldberg being the Fiend was terrible.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wasn't even a fan
that
of the
match,
Fiend.
the match that fucking Goldberg had with Undertaker and nearly killed him. I mean, what a fucking joke,
Yeah,
you know?
and even Goldberg's an idiot too. He even got himself busted open.
You know, I remember when he first got there or something and he did the headbang on the locker or whatever and he cut himself open and then they were like, you can't do this anymore. That no, we don't want that. We don't want any blood, you know. Like, yeah.
Goldberg being the Fiend terrible in 2020. Plus, him beating Kevin Owens for the title, that was stupid. Because that was really dumb. Because Owen and Jericho were supposed to have a good match and then build up to the Mania where they were going to have that title. And then, no, let's give this fucking belt to Goldberg, who didn't even deserve the fucking belt.
Juno, are you gonna buy a Freddy Krueger mask?
No, I already have one that's all crappy.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Unless when Spirit Halloween, when they have their discounts, those last couple of days after Halloween, I'll get some. I'm gonna try to see if I could get some Kachin masks
Ka-ching.
cheap. Yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers, folks. Like Bray Wyatt got fucked over. Luke Harper got fucked over.
Eric Rowan got fucked over. They all got fucked
Yeah.
over.
The thing that I think got fucked up with Eric Rowan is that they gave him a piece of shit music when he was in that Survivor Series team. They should have gave him a better music. Because as soon as he came out with this shitty, like, banjo music, but it was like a slow version of a banjo music, you could tell everybody was not interested in this music. Like, it was a shitty music for Eric Rowan. Like, they should have given him, like, maybe a guitar riff. Like, maybe something demonic or something like Led Zeppelin music or some shit. Or hell, come out to ACDC. Like, fucking shit.
I wonder why Orange Cassidy is back with Jane as his entrance music.
I don't know. Maybe he likes that more.
And I think the Pixies publishing company keep raising the rate. That's what I think.
Oh shit, that's why.
That's what I think. I mean, it's not like Jane is a good song, isn't a good song, but it's sort of like it doesn't to me. It doesn't fit him, but whatever.
To me, I think yeah, his Pixie song's more badass, and it fits him more. Because when he came out to that, when he debuted it, it was the match where him and Chuck Taylor were fighting Miro and Kip Sabian in that arcade match. I thought that was really cool when he came out to that. That was actually the debut of that Pixie song that he was using. So I was like, because I saw that live on TV, and it was a good match.
Yeah. Did you know
Because they
that
even
Chuck?
brought back Chris. Oh, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish, and I'll tell you.
I was saying they brought back Chris Statlander, so that was badass too. But no, go ahead.
The alien is with us now. Anyway, did you know Chuck Taylor beat Mickey Knuckles for the IWA Mid South Women's Championship?
Really? A woman's belt?
Yeah.
Wait, is he Santina now? Like Miss WrestleMania?
No, but I mean, I don't know if they put that fucking match together, but that's fucking Ian Rotten. He's a fucking useless piece of shit. Hi,
Ron
I'm Ian Rotten. I run a wrestling company while I work at Taco Bell.
and
Woo!
sticking straws up my ass, being a prick. Gotta go have fun. You have a good night, Moonbeam. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you very much for being here.
WWE was a part-time champion that does not show up. Who is my age? Who cannot move on? That's the thing that turns me off about wrestling is part-timers as fucking champions. That's just pathetic. Hell, I was entertained when Christian was the NWA champion, and hell, he never missed a fucking show. He actually went everywhere and kicked ass. Especially to me, I think his best match was him and Rhino in that steel cage barbed wire match. That was fucking brutal. That was by far one of the most gruesome Christian cage match. Even the ending was pretty unique of how he pretty much took a big ass bump where the cage fucking opened and he flew straight back on the floor. But I'm surprised he didn't get his fucking neck broken or anything from the way he fucking flew out of the fucking cage from the gore. Did you like? What was your thoughts on that team, Texas, the best friends? Because I'm not sure if you ever talked about that.
Oh, I like them a lot, actually. I mean, I was sort of disappointed when they split them up.
They make Trent a piece of shit now. I still think their best match is them against Santana and Ortiz in that
Oh,
parking lot
man.
brawl.
Yeah.
That was kick ass.
That was great. I'm just kind of, did you see that? I think it's Ortiz is in WWE now,
No, it was
or is it
it
Santana? I
was
get them mixed
Santana,
up.
Mike
Yeah,
Santana.
yeah. He's got a
He was
weird
in
name.
TNA. Yeah, it's like he's in first he was in TNA, then became the TNA champ. Then they dropped it, and he went to WWE. Like, but the good thing about him is that he's been sober for a long time. So, like, congratulations to him,
Yeah, yeah.
because
I
that
just
is
wish those two guys hadn't have
whoa,
split up, you know.
that was
But I
dumb.
mean, they got real life heat with each other or whatever, you know.
Oh, that's the reason why they split.
Yeah, partially, yeah.
Fuck, damn it.
Um, my thoughts on Ballad and Blood. Uh, it's not it's not bad. It's just it's based on the story of that American student that was in France that was accused of killing one of her roommates. And I mean, I guess it's more of a fictional account, you know, just based on true events. But it's a really kind of a strange film, you know. I mean, the gore effects and everything in it are good. It's just I don't know. It's one of those that you know, it's like you can watch it a couple of times, but it's nothing that like you'll want to watch over and over. It's not the best, you know, film, you know, I guess you could say, you know. Don the man is here in the house. Oh, we
Done.
just I had some StreamYard time I wanted to waste because it's rolling over tomorrow. And so I thought, well, but Juno and I and Kenny, but Kenny's back in the hospital that we would you know, so it just me and him tonight. And then, you know, I mean, we had a really good time last night. I'm glad you're here, but then of course you had to be one of the witnesses to the fucking debacle that happened, you know, last night that I don't want to go into. But then tonight, um, said person didn't show up, but somebody else showed up that was in last night. And I basically told them to get the fuck out, you know, so I don't want you here, you know. And so, you know, Chester, our head of security, took care of that, you know. You can do whatever you would like, Chris. I mean, but I think we've got it handled, you know.
Yeah, earlier we were kicking
See,
Planet
see, Chris is
Taco
another
Shell.
Chris is another, you know, guy who runs a good, you know, honest channel. He doesn't think he's as big as everybody else, and you know, I have a lot of respect for Chris because he works his ass off at his job, and it's a, you know, I'm not saying it's a fucked up job because I'm just going by his, you know, words, but you know, all jobs, you know, basically suck for the most part, you know, but you know, Chris is a good fucking guy, and you know, I want, you know, a lot of respect for him, you know. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Hmm. And Chris, we do hate that son of a bitch, Planet Cucka Maniac. A
Yeah, we can't
humanoid or
stand,
shit.
as Chris called him one time, a shill. When he that
Yeah.
was hilarious. He was in a Dead Pit, and he said, I'm gonna. He goes, well, I'm gonna leave now because I don't want to be around that shill, CHH. And then he leaves, and somebody's like, wait, what? Why? How is he a shill? I was just like, oh, that's perfect. Mr. Dog Boy.
Yep.
Exactly, Rosie, Secret Service.
Cockhead
Yeah, we don't
humanoid.
like him,
Humanoid.
either, Chris. That was fucking hilarious. I
Yeah.
just died literally when he did that.
Yeah.
When you said that, it's like, you know,
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, we can't stand that boring fuck. He is the most boring son of a bitch that ever speaks. That puts you to sleep.
and not to repeat
Same with
myself, but him and his stupid dog looking haircuts. He should just get a Mo Howard bowl cut. Fits him.
I guess a bunch of dumbasses kisses his ass. Probably licks it too.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few on our list. You just made Chester's list.
And Death Gay, fuck Death Gay, ass clown.
I was on Chester's list, at the beginning when I was booking him in matches, and he's like, "I'm not a wrestler, god damn it!" And I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry. It's a joke. It's all good." And then he got where I was coming from. It was a term of endearment. It's not like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm just goofing. I mean, I'd goof around with Juno when I used to say all sorts of weird shit to you. You're just probably like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
At least I understand you. I don't know what Death Gay even say if he talks shit out of his mouth or anything.
No, but when I would say stuff like Chuno, what's going on, stuff. Lordy B.
I'm not a wrestler, I'm a sports entertainer.
Or when I told like Rosie, you ever hear, a woman who can't pronounce the name Vicky and she always says Vicky, and then you were like, yes, I know a couple of women like that. I was like, oh, you know, pre-ordered the CH 4K. What do you mean?
Probably,
Yay, Rosie. Yes, she's
he probably has a 4K coming out of his ass. Have everybody buy it.
he is he selling a 4K or some shit?
Yeah, it's coming out of his ass. That's how he's
Life and
processing
time,
it.
life and
That's why
times
he
of the
always.
dog boy. Yeah.
That's why he looks like he's a cranky. That's why he looks cranky because he's just making the 4K come out of his ass. He probably stuff all those movies up there, like Mr. Slave.
The tickler. I
That's good,
swear.
Rosie. I know that was we're not gonna get the net no more. We're just gonna get whatever the hell comes out on Netflix.
I did not see Ice Cream Man, unfortunately. I want to see Buddy though. Oh, the Cannibal Holocaust 4K. Okay, yeah. I thought you were making some kind of weird reference to CHH. I was like, what? You know, like, yeah. Um, I want to see Buddy. That looks hysterical. But I did check to see the if Ice Cream Man was still playing, but it's already gone. It probably wasn't showing here but a week or some shit. Is usually what happens, you know.
They did that to my Regal theater.
Oh, I
I
picked
think
up
even
that
like
Student Bodies, but I didn't do an unboxing. But I didn't get Hide and Go Shriek. I have a real problem with those guys because you know you never know when that shit's going to come out. I hear people are still waiting for Gator and Gator 2. Stupid. I bought. What did I buy though? I bought the Student Bodies. I bought Rumple Foreskin, and I bought um, Patchwork, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. That was just a blind buy. I was just like, okay, I'll buy this. Well, I hope you give both those matches high marks, Chester. You know, but, damn it. No, I can understand, man. Those pay-per-views can get long as fuck.
yeah, the pay per view that I watched for Redemption was 4 hours and a half. Damn it!
Well, but you do get your money's worth, so that's But I think the crowds though overall that are there live get fucking tired. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
They should just give Claudio the push he deserves. I know they comment about what was it, Eddie Kingston of how fucking bad he looks in shape.
but he's never been like in a big,
He's never been a
you know, guy that was like in shape. He's a brawler, you know.
you
I mean, like Brody, he was a big guy. I mean, I guess he was sort of like shape, but he wasn't,
know,
like
maybe he should wear. He should just put back his shirt or something.
I mean, look at Owens, he's, never been like a real muscular guy,
But Owens wears a shirt.
Right. And they used to get pissed at him, like when Cornette was booking ROH for a while. He would tell him,
Mm-hmm.
"Don't wear the shirt," and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna wear the shirt." No, Rumple Foreskin is actually pretty good. Russell Juno did a watch party for it.
Yeah, it's not bollocks, Russell. It's actually a really good movie. Even Texas said that when he watched it, he enjoyed it. It's a titty titty bang bang.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way: I wouldn't have bought the fucking movie if I didn't think that it was good.
Yeah, if it wasn't good,
I mean, the only time I do a lot of blind buys is from Severin, but it's, and I mean, I've had a few, that have sucked, but usually they come with a documentary or something, and those are actually pretty good.
Mhm.
All right, Mercy, thanks for coming in. I hope you have a great day,
Night Mercy.
and hug the little man for me. And I hope we didn't scare you too much, but have a good night.
Night Mercy.
Okay, good.
Because the reason I mentioned the Eddie Kings and stuff, because was it Dutch Mantel and James Romero were talking about it.
Oh, okay. I I mean, I like Dutch, always have liked Dutch as a wrestler and stuff. And I started watching James because I'd been watching, um,
Mhm.
Dutch stuff. And I mean, he seems, you know, pretty much in the know. And I mean, he doesn't seem to be, he's not some kind of jerk off like, what's his name, Hannibal, or
Fuck
I mean,
Hannibal.
even like Chris Van Vliet, I don't really like that dude that much either.
Hmm.
I mean, he's all right, but I just remember when it was only down to two newsletters. You had Meltzer and Wade Keller, and that was it. And that's all you needed, and now it's like this huge empire of all these fucks trying to best each other on wrestling news and all this other kind of shit.
I wasn't minding Cafe Renee, but when they did all that stupid drama shit, I left because I got annoyed with that crap.
Right.
I'm not sure if you ever seen Renee Caprice's show, but it's
I
not
think
there
I've
no more
watched it once or twice, and stuff.
because he has never given an answer why he deleted all his shit, which pretty much pissed off Disco. And like, why the fuck did he do all this shit? Like, it's like 5 years of shit that he did streams and live streams with wrestlers he interviewed, and he deletes all this fucking shit.
Well, maybe he just doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. Disco can fuck off.
Yeah.
He's just he's just as bad as Russo.
Mm-hmm. Bruce is another ass clown.
But anyway,
And
that's all
also that,
I'll say because I'll go on a tangent.
yeah.
Yes,
But
he was Chester. He was on tonight. It was a
plus
pretty
that ass,
decent segment.
plus that asshole that goes on the bump or something. That bald headed fuck. He's an asshole too. That's on the WWE bump, wherever that show they do.
Right. You're welcome, Chester. Yeah, Andrew. Oh my God. I love Andrade, but this whole deal where with fucking MJF calling him Andrew. Like, what the fuck? I thought it was a
Well,
decent show tonight. I hope Collision is a little better since it's, the go home show and all for, the pay per view the next day.
like Chris Van Lee's okay. It's just I kind of get pissed when he doesn't answer questions that need answer. He always asks stupid questions.
Oh, one of the best things about that Zach Gallen episode was the whole
Mhm.
deal where he kayfabed the deal about his match with McMahon, where he said that he goes, I took that chair and and he nailed like McMahon, and McMahon was, he goes, he's just started bleeding the gusher, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm thinking I'm going to be fired. I mean, it was total kayfabe, like it's like, oh come on, dude. I mean, he didn't have to expose anything, but I just thought that was hysterical. It wasn't like they had, McMahon had never, fucking bladed himself or anything. I remember like going to um WrestleMania 7, and I told you, you should watch that one because you can see me and my mom in the audience, and Alan is there next to me, and
Alan's there.
yeah, he was.
What shirt is he wearing?
I don't remember, but his niece is with us. And I mean, we're sitting, in front of the hard camera. We didn't even know when we bought the tickets. We bought them like months in advance. And my ex-wife was supposed to go, but she's like, "Oh, I really don't want to go to see that," blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Well, who the fuck am I gonna take with me then?" Because we
Hmm.
we had second row tickets, and at that time they were only 125, not like today where they're $5 million. And that would be great, Rob. So anyway, that's the one with like Slaughter and Hogan, and all that. Well,
Hmm.
during that main event, fucking, Hogan, and I mean, I saw it. I saw him fucking pull the blade out of his trunks, and he fucking he blades, and then Slaughter puts that American flag over him, and then all the blood starts seeping into the flag, and my mom's just like, "That's fake," and I'm like, "No," and she goes, "Yeah, that's fake," and I'm like, "No, it's not," stuff. It just. And then the funniest fucking thing was a couple of months later, the WWE magazine comes out and they have, I think it's the picture. It might have been Warrior on the cover, or it might have been Hogan. I don't remember, but you can see my mom very clearly, like on the cover from the picture that was taken. And so a neighbor of hers, he worked at like Kroger, and he's and he fucking sees the magazine, and he's like, "Oh shit," and he goes and he buys it and he gives it to my mom. He's like, "Look, you're on the cover." And she's like, and my mom was thrilled to death. It was hilarious.
I really want to rewatch that now and find you guys in the event.
My mom is wearing like an orange top, and I'm wearing
Hmm.
a T-shirt that a friend of mine did for me. It was a Tura Satana shirt that he airbrushed with
Hmm.
her on it. You can't fucking miss us at all.
And also Alan's with you guys.
Yeah, yeah. So you get to see what Alan looks like, and stuff. And the thing is, we're sitting. I mean, I think Trump is actually sitting in front of my mom.
Hmm.
You
Because I
know,
see Trump a lot he's in the fucking event.
right? But I mean, like our seats, we were like in the center in the second row, and he's in front of my mom, and I'm trying to remember who was in front of me. It wasn't his wife at the time.
Mhm.
But then a couple of seats down in the front was Ron Perlman was sitting there, and stuff.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, it's a trip because Perlman
Cowboy.
Perlman hates him, So that was the weirdest thing. Well, I mean, I didn't know that, back. Well, it probably grew into hate, or whatever. But because he's always posting shit about him on Twitter. But then, I guess they were sort of friends or whatever. I was just really surprised that they're, everybody, on his row, they're all dressed in suits and all this other kind of bullshit, and stuff. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, Perlman hates him. I like Perlman, man.
Well, no, Perlman hates Trump, so it's funny, but
So that's why I said I'm with
yeah,
Perlman. Fuck Trump. But to be honest, I actually do think that's one of the best ones from that golden age era of WrestleMania. I think that's one of the best ones.
right.
Because personally, I think WrestleMania surpassed. Because I know a lot of people overpraised WrestleMania 3, but I think 7 is the best one over that one.
All right, Rosie, thank you for coming, tonight and hanging out. We probably won't
That
go that
Rosie?
much longer, but yeah, appreciate you and Brooke and Chester, of course, and stuff, and tell Z I said hello, and whatnot.
Yeah, it's the event that I actually do enjoy too is WrestleMania 9, and people say that's the worst, but that's not fucking true.
I don't even remember which one that is.
That's one with Gonzalez fights Taker.
Oh, the Las Vegas one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
The only shit part is when Hogan wins at the end. Fuck Hogan.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bullshit.
Macho Man was more nicer. Like you said that Macho Man was more nicer
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
more cooler, down to earth.
It's like me and Alan are uh that was the next year at 8, and we were going we got to the hotel and stuff, and we're waiting to check in, and like the Road Warriors were in front of us. We talked to them. I talked to um I don't think he was doing Repo Man, but Darso, Barry Darso. I think he was I think they were still doing Demolition or whatever. But I talked
Mm-hmm.
to him because we stayed at the same hotel that a lot of the wrestlers were at. Not every one of them, Like the Warrior was in a different hotel because they didn't want to spoil the surprise, and all that. And we met a lot
Mm-hmm.
of good, really cool fans and stuff like that. But like, so we're all checked in. We're going to the room. We're waiting at the elevator. Elevator opens, and Macho Man and Hogan step out. And Macho Man was fucking so nice. He was like, he goes, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And we're like, I mean, I'm starstruck because Macho Man was my favorite, and I'm just like, oh shit, and he's all, I go, it's a pleasure to meet you, and he shook my hand, and then Hogan's just like, let's go, Randy, like, and I was like, fuck you, I mean, that was it. That's what, that killed, everything for me, that he was a piece of shit like that to me. I was like, wow, didn't even say hello or anything. He just was a fucking, tool, Well, the thing with
I
11, that was what, Owen and Brett, right? In the cage.
Which one for
11.
WrestleMania?
Yeah.
That was SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. I was just trying
11.
to think.
Like 11's the one where Bam Bam and Lawrence Taylor fought.
Oh yeah.
Bam Bam's another wrestler they fucked over.
Oh yeah.
Even that faction that he was in was a shitty faction. That $1 million team, that team didn't go nowhere. It's pretty much like, oh, they turned on Bam Bam after that match, and pretty much Bam Bam was a good guy after that. They just didn't do shit with him. And Tatanka, they just pretty much made him look like an idiot in that group.
He was a nice guy when I met him, Tatanka.
You know what's the funny thing? That guy that's friends with MC, the one we don't like. Tatanka. Oh, the guy he reveals that Tatanka was a dick to him. I don't know if he was I don't know if he was in a bad day or something, but he said no fucking pictures right now. But how was Tatanka? You said he was nice.
Yeah, really nice, you know.
Hmm.
Oh, cool, Rob. You'll know it's me. You can't. I mean, I'm a lot younger, but you know,
Texas says his mom's wearing an orange shirt over
yeah,
the sweater.
not a sweater, but it's an orange type top.
But yeah, they said 9/11 is the worst. I would say 11 was worse because they fucked up a lot of those matches. Like was it Jeff Jarrett and Razor Ramon were having a good match, but they ended with a stupid DQ ending for the IC belt. I'm like, fucking stupid. And then they pretty much had like a shitty match with Bob Backlund and Bret Hart in one of the worst I Quit matches, which had the most botched ending of all time. Which I guess Roddy Piper said, oh, he said he quit. Probably Roddy didn't give a fuck about the match. He probably was tired of it.
Right.
He was like, fuck Bob Backlund. Even though Bob Backlund was not even saying I quit, he was actually just yelling in the fucking mic and stuff, just yelling and grunting. Probably just Piper just said, fuck this match. I'm tired of it. Backlund said he quit. I don't think it was a terrible match. I think it was hilarious to see Backlund get his ass kicked and pretty much make Bret Hart make him look like I like how Bret Hart just makes him look like an idiot with his chicken wing finisher.
Right.
I'm like, good for Bret winning. Like at least you get that Bret Hart winning. Because I think it was ridiculous when he won the fucking belt in Survivor Series. Because Backlund kind of just turned into Goldberg when he beat Bret Hart for that title, which is bullshit.
Right.
But Jesus Christ, folks, if you want to talk about the worst ones,
WrestleMania 10 though, was that Savage and Crush?
Savage and Crush, Falls Count Anywhere at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that's a piece of shit.
You didn't like that match or the
Oh
show?
man,
What was
you
it?
know who booked that shit?
Who?
Bruce Pritchard.
That ass clown?
Yeah. That's why it sucks because he booked that shit. He fucked up a lot of it. It didn't. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
What did you think about at least Owen? Was it Owen and Brett? What did you think about their match? Because that always gets the praise of how great it was.
It was, I mean, it's good. It's, see, that was a time when when Vince was trying to put a ban on blood and all this other kind of crap, you know.
Oh, because Hogan got busted open at in Mania 7.
No, not because of
And
that. It's just he's like, I don't, because I mean, WCW was having a lot of bloodbaths, and Vince was like, oh, that shit, no, we're not going to do that. Plus, that's when I think around the time that dude, Tommy, what's his name? Rob, I'm sitting the second row in front of the hard camera. I'm wearing a t-shirt that has Tourist Satana on it that was airbrushed by a friend of mine, and my mom's got blonde hair and she's got an orange top on and stuff. We're right behind like Trump, and stuff. He, he was like, oh, I don't want to be like them. They're having bloodbaths and all this other kind of shit.
yeah, because I remember watching WrestleMania 10. I thought it was an okay show, not the best, but not the worst. But I just think it was an average okay show, like not a special one.
Right.
Because you got Luger in a terrible match with Yokozuna because they pretty much were pretty much Luger was really not getting the momentum because his momentum pretty much got
Right,
his
but
balls
see, yeah,
hit
that was
at
stupid though, because
SummerSlam.
they changed that finish, last minute, and I thought
Hmm.
that was a huge mistake. He still could have won it, and then if they still weren't sure on him, they could have just fucking
Had Brett win
yeah,
and beat Luger, yeah, later that night.
So yeah, that
Because like,
was
yeah,
poor.
what is it that
But Luger, he'd always blow up like 30 seconds into the match.
did it bother like? Because was Pritchard was just a dumbass, or what the hell was he stupid about?
I don't fucking know, but it was a interview that I was listening to with him and Con Job, and
Mhm.
you know, and Con Job. See, I don't like Con Job except that he he will call Pritchard on his bullshit, and he was saying, well, something about it, and he's like, this is a terrible match. And he goes, and you booked this, right? And old Pritchard's trying to lie and get out. No, I don't remember anything about. He goes, bullshit. Yes, you do, and stuff. And then he kind of had to admit, well, yeah, I did this, blah blah blah, you know.
Hell, hell,
Yeah.
that fucking WrestleMania, they pretty much didn't do shit with. They pretty much made Bam Bam into a joke where he was wrestling fucking Doink and his midget Dinky, wherever the fuck that was.
Right.
And Luna Vachon, why wasn't she fucking wrestling Alundra Blaze? Like, why the fuck is she wrestling this fucking dinky midget wrestler? Like, fucking
One of
ridiculous.
those midgets, I forgot what his name was. And yes, I'm wearing a white t-shirt. Yes. And I forget the guy's name, but he's dressed as a clown one time and they were doing some sort of local promo or something. And they said something to him and they have the camera on him and he just like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? It was real creepy, You know, it's just yes. You know. Yeah, see, that's cool, Rob. See, Rob's a witness. He knows I was there at WrestleMania 7 when we
Rob
had
got
tickets for like 8. We had the same, but it was a bigger place. But it was weird the way they had the ring set up. So like our 2 seats on the row were like missing or some shit. We had to tell somebody. So then they were like, well, you can sit here like on the 3rd row or something like that. You know, it was ridiculous, you know, and you know, but whatever, you know. And we were still like I think in front of the heart camera, but it couldn't really pick it up because we were too far over. But that oh man, that match between Brett and Piper was that was great. Savage and Flair. Oh yeah, I was having a good time, you know, and stuff.
Oh shit! It was that match. It was the match that Flair bladed. That's when Vince got pissed and bitched about.
Well, you know, Vince can kiss
They
my
bitched.
ass because he bladed.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah.
And then he has that dumbass Pritchard producing the next WrestleMania. That fucking idiot.
You know, I told you I knew, you know, Pritchard when he was selling fucking tickets at the Houston wrestling box office. He was
Yeah,
doing everything, refereeing, setting up rings, and this was way before, you know, brother love, you know, stuff, you know.
that fruitcake.
Yeah, that was one of the things I didn't like, Chester.
And hell, people were booing the shit out of Hogan.
Yeah,
But of course, they want to edit out the real shit, especially the Royal Rumble match. They want to just rewrite history where they added cheering crowd effects because in the actual audio, they were booing the fuck out of Hogan when he eliminated Sid.
right.
And pretty much Hogan was doing a fucking heelish thing, even though I'm surprised he wasn't a heel for turning as a fucking heel for that.
They should have, you know, see, they could have made a lot of money, but I don't know what the deal was. But after he, you know, pulled that shit, you know, uh, where he beat Yokozuna, you know, that's when I was renting tapes from Japan, Japanese TV. So there's a few
Mm-hmm.
weeks later, you know, Hogan's doing a tour in Japan, and they had some kind of promo where I forget who he was going to wrestle, and he had that WWE title or WWF title at the time, and he's like, "This doesn't mean anything anymore," and he throws it in a trash can, and I was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck is that?" And then, of course, sooner, you know, you know, after that, then his ass was in WCW. But I still think their biggest mistake it wasn't, you know, any of the NWO shit, which I think was great, but he never should have beat Flair like right away. That was a huge fucking mistake. But you know, Hogan had to have it his way.
Yeah, because he's a drama. He's a drama queen, bitch.
I mean, I think Brett should have, or actually Piper should have been a champion, even if it was an interim championship. And I feel the same way about Perfect, and I feel the same way about DiBiase. You
So
know,
with Boss Man.
I mean, because you know, to be honest, all those guys, you know, everybody worked their ass off, but it was always the same shit. It was like they climbed the totem pole to fucking get to Hogan, and then they got their ass
Yeah.
kicked, and then it was let's just move the next guy up, and then of course he gets his ass
I,
kicked. Sucked, you know.
I I think to me he sucked was also when he won the second Royal Rumble, which I think that was bullshit because that victory should have been to somebody that deserved it.
Right.
Like hell, it was him and Earthquake. Like Earthquake should have fucking won that. Why the hell do we want to see Hogan win again? He fucking wrestled at WrestleMania. He won the previous Royal Rumble. I'm like, why are we seeing the same old shit?
Well, what I would have, the way I would have booked it was that I
Mhm.
would have had, like Chester sneak in and fucking clock Hogan with the belt and then push him over and Chester wins the fucking Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
That's what I would have booked it that way.
yeah, it's a he's a big old jackass, drama queen. That's why they always say that he's a dick to the other wrestlers because he never fucking put over wrestlers. He
Yeah.
never put over Jake Roberts, Mr. Perfect, Big Bossman, who was more fucking over than Hogan.
Boss man, he was, fucking so good. And that match with him at Perfect at WrestleMania 7 to this day, I still think that's one of the best matches I ever saw in my life. Even
I
when
just
like
wish
they had Andre
the
come out, and you could tell that he
yeah,
was fucking hurting, but he still went out and then did, you know.
I just wish that had a finish. Like
Yeah,
I like if either I would have loved to see Bossman win the belt, but hell, if Perfect retained the belt, I would have just loved to see that because I don't like that it ended with a stupid DQ
right,
because the dumbass referees they always DQ the good matches because they even did that with Shawn Michaels and Mankind because even Mick Foley says that was one of his best matches he loved doing, but he hated the way it ended where he was not even giving a shit about winning the belt. Like he would have preferred Shawn just going over and just win
right.
and just have a
Well, one of the strangest things is when Hogan would wrestle for Tenryu for a while, they had this, you know, open relationship with Japan, and there was, some good. I mean, Hogan would fucking pull, out all the stops. I mean, you'd be like surprised. You'd be like, "Is this actually the same motherfucker that's lazy as fuck?" you know, because there was a match. It was Tenryu and fucking Hogan, and they're against the Road Warriors, and I mean, it was a bloodbath, and fucking Hawk is just covered from head to toe in blood, and he looked like he had been hit by a car, or something. And they used to have that match up on the network and shit. I mean, and then there was a match where Hogan was against Stan Hansen, and that was real good too.
what was the bloody match at Hulk again? What was the one?
It was the Road Warriors against Hogan and Tenryu.
Hogan and Tina. Okay.
Yeah,
Tina, that's another dude they pretty much wasn't he at WrestleMania 7 where he tag teamed with that asshole that Earthquake beat up?
well, I mean, Tenryu. I think he had a tag team or something with somebody.
Yeah, he was with that asshole that pissed off Earthquake or something and he was being a dick to Earthquake in Japan or something where they had that big ass fight. It was that fucking sumo guy that he tagged him with.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah. The only thing that people remember that ass is that dude was a dick towards Earthquake, and Earthquake was just whipping his ass real good. Kind of went
Yeah.
like Antonio Inoki beating the shit out of Gray Antonio. It's like fuck you, motherfucker. He went hardcore. and just slapped and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, my mom liked that match because she was like, these Japanese guys, wow, They had
Like hell.
I'm trying to think, there was a dark match at the beginning. It was Coco Beware against the Brooklyn Brawler.
Hmm.
And I can't remember if they had a dark match at 8, but yeah. But yeah, that was to start. And then there was the Nasty Boys, against the Hart Foundation.
Hmm.
What was that? What was that one fucker? Damien Demento or whatever.
Oh, Damon Demento, the one that fought Undertaker on the first Raw episode, main event.
Yeah, yeah.
Damon Memento. Memento.
And then you had old Bastion Booger when he was like Friar Ferguson or some shit.
Which that gimmick was better
Yeah, it
than the
was
fucking.
actually.
The reason why that gimmick got fucking canceled because the Catholic people were bitching at WWE about that stuff.
It's so stupid. But then and then they make these guys suffer with like shit gimmicks.
And of course, they got a bitch about everything, like, oh, it was racist. Like, they cut out the Piper and Bad News Brown match on WrestleMania 6. It's
Well,
fucking removed.
yeah, I thought they kept the match, but well, I guess they didn't because Piper had done that deal where his half
Half
his
of his
body
face.
was black, black faced.
Mhm.
I mean,
But
but the thing was that whole that whole fucking feud, it was a point. I mean, there was a point to it. It wasn't like it was just like, Piper decides, oh, I'm going to paint myself half black. It wasn't, it was a thing to show how ignorant fucking, Bad News Brown was being.
yeah, and now everybody thought it was taken into a different way where he was wearing blackface. Bunch of idiots
Well,
getting
but
butthurt
see,
about that.
that came years later, and that's the thing that I don't like because I mean, it's
They
like,
get all butthurt.
yeah, it's like, oh, you're all offended by this now, but you didn't give a shit when it happened. So, like, what the fuck? It's
Like
just
they,
stupid.
it's like they bitched about the DX stuff, and then they bitched about Goldust dressing like Shaft.
Yeah, I mean, he did that one deal where he had the ghetto blaster, and I mean, this one friend of mine, she was furious. She's like, you think that's funny, and stuff, and and I mean him, dressed in black. I said, you don't get it. You're not paying attention. Every week he's doing something that's offsetting, prejudices, you know. And I said, even though he's a heel, he's doing this to show the kind of ignorance that people have. And then she thought about it and she goes, oh, you're right. So, I mean, because trust me, I used to see a lot worse shit. There was a
Greg
deal,
Valentine.
there was a time they'd have local promos here, and there was this deal where it was DiBiase and Dr. Death Steve Williams. They were a huge tag team in Mid South, and they had a big feud with Chavo and Chavo Senior and Hector Guerrero. And this was in 1985, and there was this huge fucking earthquake in Mexico. And so they're doing this promo, and they're saying, basically telling the Guerreros, we're going to beat your ass, and this and that. And they said, and when we're done with you, you'll be picking your family up out of the rubble. Yeah, I mean, that's
And
fucked up, you know?
that's more racist than the blackface shit.
Right. I mean, there was a deal fucking Butch Reed, Hacksaw Butch Reed, and he had a match with, he was having a match with Dutch Mantel, right? So he tells, Dutch Mantel, he'd bring that whip to the ring, and it was called Shoe Baby. And fucking Butch Reed, he's like, you know, he goes, Dutch Mantel, don't you think about bringing that Shoe Baby to the ring? He goes, let me tell you something. This is 1985, not 1865. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Just like, oh shit. I
I
mean,
know.
crazy
I know
shit.
I know Greg Valentine. He said racist. Like he went on in those fucking promos with JYD.
There was a guy, yeah. I mean, but they would tell him to say that shit, and then
Yeah, it was scripted.
and then like there was a deal when USWA had bought World Class, and so they had that. There was a guy that was in World Class for years, Iceman King Parsons, and
Yeah.
so he turned heel, and he was against Jeff Jarrett, and he had this deal where he kept calling Jeff Jarrett Jessica, you know, and he's like, come get me, Jessica, come get me, come on, Jessica, and fucking, they're holding him back and everything, and Jeff Jarrett literally, and I mean, they got kicked off this station that had carried, the wrestling in Dallas. They got kicked off because, I mean, Jeff Jarrett's there and he says, get that N off of here. He goes, get that N out of here. And I mean, I mean, my jaw just dropped. Yeah, Jessica Jarrett, Chester. But he was like, get that N word out of here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I mean, that's
Nowadays,
too much.
yeah, nowadays people be bitching that, oh, he called him a girl name. Like,
Oh
oh, that's
yeah.
transphobic. I'm like, fuck that shit. That was a different time.
Yeah. And then there was like Brickhouse Brown, and he turned heel. I mean, they would always do like all this kind of shit. I mean, it was crazy. And then there was some guy that was in Memphis, the Snowman or some shit like that. And he wins the belt from Lawler, and then he fucking just leaves. He takes the
Mm-hmm.
fucking belt and he leaves, and they don't know where this fucking guy went.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what?
I'll be back from right back. I'll be right back,
Okay.
I think.
It's just like when you watch a lot of this like older stuff, I mean, it's insane unless they, you know, bleep stuff out or whatever. Just some crazy stuff. Chester, do you remember the Berserker?
Husk.
Yeah, okay, you remember him. Okay. Well,
Husk.
it was a rip off of the Brody gimmick, but he used to wrestle in Mid South under the name of the Barbarian, and it wasn't the same, Barbarian that was with Warlord. Um, like the Berserker was like a WWE gimmick where where he was dressed as like sort of like a Viking and stuff. And but it still was, like I said, a ripoff of the Brody gimmick because he had Bruiser Brody, that is, because he would wear those fur-lined boots, and Brody wore those. But in Mid-South, he was, yeah, I think so. Yeah, when he got hired, it's been a while since I've watched that, But when he
Cool.
was in Mid-South, he was teamed with Jake Roberts. And so then they had this deal where he was fighting, they were fighting Humongous, or Jake was, or something. It wasn't a tag team, I don't think, but he ran in like he was going to help Jake, and then he turned on Jake, and man, people were just like freaking the fuck out. And so then Jake became like a baby face, and stuff. And another thing I remember from WCW, but this was, way before, or when it was, NWA, whatever the fuck, when Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man, was attacked by Pistol Pez Watley. And, he had that beard that had, was tied down, and fucking, he turns on him and takes the scissors and cuts the beard off. And, he fucking, cuts the beard off, and then, they go to interview him, and he says, Piz, why did you do that? And he says, he said, they go, Pez, why did you do that? My name ain't Pez. My name is Shaska. I'm Shaska Watley. I was like, and then when they interviewed Jimmy Valiant about it, he says, like, what the fuck? He says, he's totally not doing the Boogie Woogie Man gimmick where he's like, yeah, blah, 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 all flamboyant and crazy. He's real calm and reserved. And he says, he was like my best friend I had for years. And this is just like you come home and you find your best friend fucking your wife. And he actually said that, but they bleeped out the fucking. But I mean, that was like the first time I was like, what the hell? This guy just cursed on TV, and shit. Those were exact words. It's like you come home and you find your best friend fucking. Oh man. That was a good opener, Rob. And then there was, Willie Nelson sang the national anthem and stuff. So I at least got to see what Willie Nelson sing one song.
Willie Nelson.
Yep. The bombs bursting in the air, the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in the air. And then we knew that Juno was still there,
Mm-hmm. Did you find out what was the real reason why they didn't do? Was it was supposed to be the LA Coliseum or something? But they said,
Well,
oh, there was a bomb threat.
because that's when that first, Iraq war, or one of the wars started,
Mm-hmm.
and they kept, supposedly they said that they felt that there might be a terrorist threat at the stadium, and so, but I think what it was, hey Daniel, how's it going? So yeah, so what it was I think that the tickets it wasn't a sellout, for it. So they just used that as an excuse, so they could,
Mhm.
say, oh, well, we don't have enough security or this or that. And, it was, I mean, I think they did great ticket sales, but it just wasn't the sellout like they thought. Because I think people were tired of that, anti-war shit, and stuff. So
Mhm. Because they first didn't they already like at the time it wasn't like they already did that with the Bolsheviks.
yeah, but I mean, this, I guess, it's just McMahon trying to figure shit out. Well, let's do this and make, Sergeant Slaughter, a sympathizer for the enemy and all that, and then he redeem himself after the Hogan match. I mean, and Slaughter, man, he hated that shit. He didn't want to be a part of that.
Because originally it was supposed to be Duggan. Duggan was supposed to be the one that joins the Iraqi team, and because it was supposed to be Duggan because he always had the American flag,
Right.
but they decided to just go with Slaughter. With in WCW, they did that shit where we went with Canada and made and have him shave his beard, looking like a fucking creepy person. Did you remember that where they had him join Canada because of Lance
Yeah, it's
Storm
kind
Street,
of kind of coming back to me. Yeah,
where he had like this creepy look, where he had like his whole beard shaved off.
it's just crazy.
But yeah, Duggan was actually the original person to do that gimmick that Sergeant Slaughter was doing. Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
think
pissed
it
to do that.
would have been a good idea anyway, to be honest.
And
Hey,
then,
Corey. Hope
hey
you're
there,
having a
Corey.
good night. Stuff.
And
It was
then
a
Iron
good. It was a
Sheik.
good show the other night with you with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. The Iron Shit. Did you say that? The Iron Shit.
No, the Iron Sheik. He was also involved with that storyline too. But
No,
then
I
they
know. We it's what Alan always used to call him. The Iron Shit. That we had gone to a taping. I think it was for Superstars or something. And so, these tapings would be long because it would be, they tape Challenge, I think, and Superstars. And if I remember correctly, because we went to quite a few of them, and I think it's the one where Savage and Elizabeth got married,
SummerSlam.
and and we there was but they would have matches that they wouldn't, you know, they weren't necessarily dark matches, but matches that they were extra matches, and stuff. And they had one, it was a boot camp match with like Hogan against, Adnan and Iron Sheik. And I don't remember, or maybe Hogan was fighting them all off. I don't remember. But Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
fucking cheats. He throws the fucking cocaine and fucking, you know, Slaughter's face or some shit. But what was weird was at the end of the match, right? Some kid jumps in the ring and he's got a Hogan bandana, and Hogan actually shook his hand. He wasn't cool enough, to shake my fucking hand, but, but he's telling this kid, you can tell him, he's like, you need to get out of here now before they get you and get they kick your ass out, and stuff. The kid's just like, oh, posing and shit. Sure enough, security drags his ass out of the ring. Hogan tried to warn him, but I could see something like Hogan telling him, like, "Kid, you better get out of here now, brother. But give me your phone number. I'll come by your
What was
house. Fuck your mom later."
what was your thoughts on Jerry Lawler?
Oh, I've always loved Lawler. I mean, I've heard he can be kind of a prick, but I mean, I saw him wrestle a couple of indie matches here and stuff. They were mainly comedy matches, but he would go around and shake everybody's hand, and
Yeah.
stuff. So, I always kind of liked him. I just, the stuff between him and Kaufman was great.
Hmm. Jim
The
Carrey did the Coffin movie, and they had Lawler reprise his
Yeah,
role
yeah, Man on the
on the
Moon. Yeah,
Dick Cavern Club.
um, Big Bert
The only match,
almost shook my hand at the ice capades when I was like 5, but poked me in the eye instead. Oh shit, that's not good.
was it Lawler. He had a really funny match with Terry Funk, and I think it was in that 3 disc set that they included that match. But I think even the Vault has it on Terry Funk's matches, is where he's like calling him a son of a bitch for like 5 minutes in an empty arena or
Yeah,
something.
that one. Yeah, that's a weird one.
I thought it was funny the way like Terry Funk was having a potty mouth where he just kept calling him a son of a bitch for like
Well,
five
yeah,
minutes.
because they kayfabed it where he acted like he lost his eye or some shit. That's the whole deal, you know,
Yeah,
and you know. But I mean, I've seen one of the funniest things. You probably just have to look up um fucking funk funk Ric Flair jackass promo where he said it's like Terry Funk and he's like telling Flair, he's like, when I was little, I had a jackass, and I raised that jackass, and I loved it. Well, years later, that jackass got old. And it's just like you, Flair. You're an old man. And my daddy told me, you're going to have to shoot that jackass, son. There's no way around it. So, Flair, I'm going to shoot you or something like that. It's so great. It's like, I'm going to put you out the pasture and shoot you like I shot my jackass.
that impression, dude, that is really good.
Oh,
It
thank
sounds
you.
like him.
Thank you.
But Jesus Christ, Jerry Lawler, like he had one of the worst matches, and it was at WrestleMania. That against that idiot Michael Cole. That was the most fucking stupid match.
Oh man, I didn't know that Bill Dundee has dementia. That sucks.
And Lawler can't speak because he just recently got a stroke months ago, like a while
Well, he
back.
was saying that, yeah, that was, a while back.
I don't think they should do it. Like, look at what the fuck happened to Flair and Jarrett. That was a disaster.
Daniel, I would say, don't book, Jamie Dundee, but that's just my opinion.
Isn't that the dude that's on that was in Jerry Springer or some shit?
Yeah,
Where he pretty much exposed that Jerry Springer was a scripted show.
Oh, I had a friend that was on there once, and she told me the whole thing was a work that like she basically just said, she called in for some show and they booked her for it. They paid for her uh, hotel. You know, she didn't get paid. They just basically they would pay for your hotel and they would give you like transportation to and from the show.
Hmm.
That would have been great, Daniel, if you could have booked Terry Funk, for your Fed.
Hell, it should have been Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk at WrestleMania, with and Stone Cold would have not been disappointed as the referee because Jerry Lawler fought that idiot Michael Cole. Did you ever see that piece of shit
Yeah.
match, Texas?
That was one time I almost truly gave up. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my god, that was one of the worst fucking matches of all time. They want to say that Gonzalez and Taker was the worst match. Fuck no, that was the worst.
That
Because
was like a fucking 5-star match compared to Khali and the Undertaker.
well, Taker and they didn't go to WrestleMania, which I'm glad that wasn't a Mania match. But Jesus Christ, Great Khali is one of the worst wrestlers of all time.
Daniel, can you watch all your shows like on your Patreon and stuff?
But damn, it's just like you had some of the worst WrestleMania matches. Like you had fucking Sable fighting Tori at WrestleMania 15, and she was a shitty wrestler. They didn't want to
Right.
they didn't want to give Luna the fucking belt because Sable was a bitch about it.
You got old Vinny Rue going, sell the back, sell the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool.
And poor, even though it was a weak match that Bossman and Taker had, it wasn't their fault. That was Vince Russo's fucking fault for
Yeah.
booking that match. Like hell, that was a WrestleMania. That was all fucking Russo being an idiot.
See, Chester and we're on the same level. He almost gave up as well because of that Cole and Lawler match.
Oh god dang, Chester, that was dreadful to watch. Even Stone Cold looked like he was a miserable son of a bitch. He looked like he was regretting the referee that match. Like you could tell Stone Cold was like, fucking shit. I got paid to be in this piece of shit. Like hell, I would have just rather just see Jerry Lawler fight The Miz one more time because they had a solid match, but it got fucked up because Michael Cole fucking interfered the match. That idiot. And it kind of made it more emotional because Jerry Lawler was going in there emotional in that match because his mother just recently died. So it's like he was getting more emotional in that match. So that's why he gave a pretty good solid match with The Miz until the dumbass Michael Cole fucked it up.
Right.
Like, I get it that Michael Cole he did a good job being an asshole, but he just was annoying with it. He wasn't that fucking entertaining. He just seemed like a dipshit.
What was the deal? I'm trying to remember. Go back to that where they would bring out a computer and do some kind of bullshit.
Oh, the anonymous Raw general manager with that laptop bullshit. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fucking terrible. They had to have dumbass Michael Cole. Can I have your attention, please? Like, shut the fuck up, dude, and just read what you gotta see. Like I laughed when Chris Jericho was like, he was interrupted with that stupid computer making a noise, and then Michael Cole says, "Can I have?" Shut up, you stupid idiot, and just read it. Like Chris Jericho was like all annoyed, like, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot, and just read the damn thing, the damn computer." Because originally, who the fuck was going to be behind that? Originally, that was supposed to be Kevin Nash, but he was with TNA at that time, and it turned out to be fucking Hornswoggle. He was the one that was behind it, which made no sense.
Yeah, of course. You know.
Because it would have made more sense if it was Kevin Nash, because he was the one that was fucking up everybody over. But yeah, Lawler and Bill Dundee, they should be fucking careful and not have that match, because look what happened to fucking Flair. He almost fucking died in that match.
Yeah.
Like, if they ever see this video, like, be careful, guy. Like, look what happened to Flair. He almost fucking died. But
But then
luckily he,
they pulled
but
that.
luckily he did try.
Well, then, but then they also fake, in WCW, fake, Flair having a heart attack and shit. See, that kind of shit I never liked because, it's like something really happened to somebody and then people are like, oh, he pulled that shit before, you know.
Besides, fucking Flair, he retired against Shawn Michaels. Why is he wrestling? Like, he fucking retired at WrestleMania.
Well, it was weird. He was he did make a few appearances in Ring of Honor and they were building up to something. And then, they were, WWE was pissed that he was there. So then they made him an offer, to come back and just, fuck around or whatever he was doing. But I mean, it would have been great, whatever they were trying to do with him in Ring of Honor. And then they did the same bullshit with Steamboat when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did this one
Yeah.
angle where they had, Steamboat got surrounded by a bunch of guys and fucking
Oh, Nexus. That was the group. Nexus.
No, and this was in ROH.
Oh, ROH. Okay.
And
that.
then CM Punk took all these guys out and shit like that.
Did you ever heard about the Nexus?
Yeah,
How they got fucked over?
Yeah.
Because they were actually the group that actually was bringing back old school wrestling fans into back to WWE, because they were actually being an edgy fucking team.
It's Daniel, like Flair, he's always trying some kind of bullshit, his energy drink, all these kind of stupid things, and they never pan out,
He should have listened. He should have saw what happened to Steven Seagal's energy drink. That went up to shit.
Well, we don't give a fuck about him at all, so
his energy drink
Seagal
sucked.
can fucking drink. Steven Seagal can drink, the fucking sweat off a jackass's balls, as far as I'm concerned. Steve Seagal, you can take this jackass and lick the sweat off its fucking balls. I'm Terry Funk, and I approve this message. See, Rosie and Brooke and Ashton, they're missing this, Like,
Mm-hmm.
It's my second round.
Every time they do an energy drink or alcohol drink, they suck. Look at Hogan's beer. They didn't do shit with that. They just stuck it up their ass and licked the jackass balls.
Wow, Flair, you have the same bug guy. That's crazy. I liked when he was making those fucking TikToks and he was charging people like fucking $300 or some kind of bullshit. And there was one where this guy said, that he was getting married and Flair's drunk as fuck. And he's like, oh, no, 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 no. You don't want to do that, because she'll take you for everything you got. And it's like, what? It's just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Man, we're having a good time talking about wrestling.
Yeah. Well, you always get us on that subject, I try to, kind of keep us at an even keel, but
Yeah.
Chester loves
Right.
wrestling, so I let it slide, sometimes,
And same with Rosie.
Right.
What is it? You have any recommendations? Like, have you watched anything new lately? Like, I don't know, like maybe today, earlier you saw anything?
Today, no, all I had watched today was the Zach Gowen thing, the
Mm-hmm.
dark side of the ring, and then I was watching some, Necro Butcher matches, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I watched Dynamite tonight, but yeah, that was it. So my day was like full day was wrestling today,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Mania Cup 3, I did recommend earlier. It's a good one.
oh yeah, well I have that
Even
one.
though
So
it's a
I
messy production, which I kind of want to see a documentary about it.
I did on Hulu day before yesterday. Let me get the full title of this. I watched the Material Issue documentary called Out of Time, the Material Issue story, which they were a band in the 90s. They were sort of this pop punk band, but they were fucking great. But it was one of those deals where their fucking, the label fucked them over, and their lead
Mm-hmm.
singer and guitarist decided to like off himself in his garage, by
Oh man,
asphyxiation and shit, carbon monoxide poisoning. So that sucks. That's the worst thing about the documentary, but I knew it was coming, and stuff. And but it's a great documentary, a lot of great like, footage in it and stuff. Up on Tubi, not a sponsor. Chester wants to know, did you finally watch Faces of Death yet?
no, I haven't seen it. The only one I saw was Spider Man, and that new one sucked.
Well, the Faces of Death is up on Shutter, or it's on, Look.
Okay, I'll see that tomorrow because I'm definitely going to see that.
Get your ass in gear, damn it. Get your jackass in gear, I did a prank call as Terry Funk once. I called it a dry cleaners. It said that I had a sport coat or something, and that
Mm-hmm.
it was missing. You know, I brought that in a couple of weeks ago. My wife brought in the ticket, and she said you guys don't have it. What's going on? What's your name, sir? Terry Funk, Funk. Yeah. Like, well, we'll look for it. I mean, how much is it? I think the woman asked me, how much is it worth? Oh, I paid over $100 for it. Well, if we can't find it, we will reimburse you, sir. But yeah, that's all I think I've watched lately. Besides that movie I had mentioned last night, that 1992, which I thought was good,
Mhm.
wasn't bad. Yeah, well, we're just about to hit that 3 hour mark. We're about 5 minutes away, 4 minutes
Mhm.
away, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna, let us go and all that. So, but thanks,
Thank you.
everybody for coming out. We had quite a nice crowd. Sorry the beginning was kind of marred by an asshole coming in here and trying to fuck shit up.
Mhm.
Maybe, maybe not. I couldn't see what he was saying. I mean, Alan said
Thank you,
last
Chet.
night, yes, thank you, Chester, again for that. But like the other, like the night before, because we couldn't see him. Like because I have him blocked. That's why I can't see the fucker. But you know, uh, Kenny couldn't see him either, which I don't know why that is. But Alan said that he didn't notice him saying anything, out of the way or anything like that. But I just thought, okay, that's why I let it go last night. I thought, well, whatever, he's not saying any shit. But then I just thought it. I also, part of me was like, he came in and then, fucking, you know, the bitch comes in, and starts her shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, So I thought, oh, maybe he was, spying for her or some shit. So I'm just like, whatever, like, so that's why tonight I was just like, you know, and it was funny because when I said, I don't want to do this, but get the fuck out of here, and then, Moonbeam immediately sends me a text. She's like, oh shit, what the fuck did he do? But, que sera, sera, as they say. But,
Yeah.
honestly, thank you, Chester, for always being here and,
Yes.
helping out, you know. I mean, you're appreciated here more than you know. And same with you, Juno. I mean, everybody.
Thank you, Texas.
No, you're welcome. So were you able to download that song and everything?
The one that you, I think I didn't get a song or so, or was it the video that Johnny sent me?
No, I sent you that song tonight because I said, can you put that, on? You said you'd give it a shot, or whatever. I didn't know
I had
what.
to, I had to, I had to work on it and try to like get it into like a video audio clip
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah,
because I had to use that CapCut shit,
right.
which CapCut sucks because it doesn't do shit. Because the reason I have not used CapCut is because they every fucking time I try to download a video, it only downloads like 10 seconds, even though I worked on like a 3 minute fucking video or a 5 minute video. It only downloads 10 seconds of the video. I'm like, what the fuck, CapCut?
Yeah, you know.
Thank you, Chester. We thank you, Chester. That's the 3 out mark.
Oh, okay. But I really appreciate that, Chester.
Thank
All
you,
right. Well, yeah, we'll get out of here. I'm getting bombarded with messages. I need to keep my concentration and stuff. But we'll see you Friday. Hopefully, Kenny will be back with us and stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
And just just remember, don't be a jackass. All right. Have a great night, and we'll see you around and everything. All right. So see you later. And thanks again, everybody, for coming out tonight. Too many people to name, but All right. Good night. Thanks, Daniel. You have a good one too. I'm sure I'll see you around somewhere.